So first off, tell me how did the collab even come together in the first place?
So if you remember, me and Chris Brown did a song called "Have My Heart."
Oh yeah,
yeah. So what happened was Pastor Furtick sent some Elevations team just to see what Mav was about, just to hang out, write some songs, just to see what was happening. Me and Pastor Furtick have a weird connection. It's a very long story, but a very crazy God ordained thing. But we ended up writing together August of 2020 in the middle of the pandemic. We ended up writing together, coming together, doing some stuff. And the first time what we wrote in August was Jireh. We wrote Jireh in August, me, Naomi, Chris Brown, and Pastor Furtick. And that started just a conversation of man, what could this be like? We actually wrote 2 songs that day. Jireh and Shall Not Want, we wrote in the same setting.
Oh man.
Shall Not Want's on the album. It was a beautiful thing, man. And I think the product, I'm very proud of how it came out. I don't think I could be any more proud of what it's doing. The records is breaking. I mean, we broke a U.S. record for most streams in one day.
Did you really?
For any Christian group. Isn't that crazy?
Are you serious? I had not heard that. That's crazy. Congratulations, man. What a cool feel. That's a really cool thing to be able to hang your hat on. That's awesome.
For me, it's less, I think for most of us, it's less about oh man, we're breaking records. It's more about, man, this is having an impact. What we sought out to do and what we feel like the Lord was getting behind, it really was him. It really was him impressing upon us to keep hanging, keep building a relationship, keep writing songs. So it's just like a reward of all the sacrifice.
Is it ever an audience thing? Because some people are writing for Becky in Des Moines, Iowa, and then some people are writing for Atlanta or for Brooklyn or for Los Angeles. Yeah. I feel like that could be kind of an interesting thing too, because some people are like, well, at my church they would never say something like that. We just don't do that, and I think that would be kind of tough to work with. Exactly,
it's very, very even with Jireh, Jireh. I mean, you've never heard. And Pastor Furtick was he's like, wait, did you just sing Jireh? Is that what you just said? He's like, have you ever sang that? I was like, no. And he's like, let's put it in the song. And it was his appreciation of how different it was and how it has not been incorporated in space. So I feel like the way we do stuff, the way we write, wouldn't work for people who are trying to protect their world, who are trying to protect their sphere, who are trying to protect their their tradition, what they have always experienced. But I think it works for people who are open and ready to be like, yo, I know we do it like this, but we need something new. Let's tear down the walls. Let's break those rules and see what happens. When we welcome another type or taste into this space. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Do you feel like, in your experience, is that something do you think there's hope that churches are getting better about that spirit of protection that a lot of them have? Because I know that's something that a lot of people, a lot of artists who came before you guys have struggled with. Do you think we're moving in the right direction there?
Yeah, I think a lot of churches are realizing that this generation is really, it's really a maverick, no pun intended, a maverick in generation. We don't like the rules. We want to break the rules. We want to break the boxes that we originally grew up in or were raised in. And I think for churches to stay relevant, pun intended, I think churches to stay relevant, they have to welcome the stuff that's not normal. They have to welcome the difference. They have to welcome hey, let's look at it this way. I know we looked at it this way, but what is really behind that tradition? Is it just because we're comfortable doing that, or is there something really so you have to welcome the interruption of that. And I think for the churches who don't welcome it, I think you'll see them over the next 5 years just become not relevant, irrelevant, and you'll become faded and outdated because they just didn't welcome, really what the Lord was doing in a new space.
It's kind of interesting. I wonder if there's even some ways in which you guys' music can be a catalyst for that, like if some of these places can start listening to a collaboration between Mav City and Elevation Worship, and maybe they're going to be more open to going into different spaces they haven't before, welcoming new ideas they haven't before, reading books they haven't before. It could be cool to see you lead the way into an even broader thing than the music that they listen to on Sunday morning.
Absolutely. I think that's why I think this this record that we do with Elevation is so major, because it's two worlds colliding. Yeah. Literally two opposites coming together.
Yeah.
Like, just for example, Elevation would have had all the songs prepared 6 months prior and would have done songs several times at their church. Mav, we're still writing songs minutes before we record it. And that's just what we're used to. So to see those two opposites collide, it's a sign of what is to come. It's a sign of what's happening in the earth now, that there are chasms and there are shifts, and there's a new thing happening to where people just need to be open to the new thing. Like, opposites are coming together, and it's not just one supporting the other. Is they support both. Like, there's both equally supporting each other. Like, Mav needs Elevation and Elevation needs Mav. Mm-hmm. So a lot of times it's an issue of insecurity for most. I think a lot of times, especially in the Christian space, I mean, you see Lil Wayne pull Drake up, get behind Drake, invest in Drake, and now Lil Wayne's chilling. Lil Wayne don't have to do music for the rest of his life because Drake is, Drake, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
But you don't really see that too much in the Christian space.
No.
And I think it's a lot of times the David Saul syndrome. Like, man, what we're doing in Mav is like we want to kill that before it even is a idea in our head, like in our hearts. Like, we don't ever want to be the Saul to another generation. So now, like you're saying, we're always having new voices, always doing camps, always inviting people we would have never met before. And like, hey, you sing way better than me. I mean, I know a guy named Ryan Ofe, who is on our tribal music stuff now, guy from Ghana, Africa, he could out-sing me every day. Any day of the week, he can out-sing me. And his voice is better. And we want to invest into that, because there's going to become a time where I'm like, the Lord is like, all right, it's time to move on from this. It's time to go do something else. And because of insecurities, we don't want to hold on to something, a tradition, a career, a space that now needs to be passed on. So, I think the Lord is doing that new thing where, people just need to be open to what's new.
Something I've noticed with a lot of worship songs is they're very horizontal. Here's what God is doing for me. Here's how my life is different because of that, which is fine. There's a place for that. I've noticed with you guys, it's very different. It's very vertical. It's very much you talking to God about what God is bringing down. It goes back and forth like that. Is that deliberate on you guys' part, or is that just a natural outflowing of of the Maverick City energy?
Yeah, it's definitely a natural outflowing, because we have some horizontal, maybe like out of a bunch of songs, maybe like 3, 4, but it's just a natural thing because we love Jesus for real, and we're not just writing songs to make it on charts. We're not just writing songs to get all the churches singing it. Like, we're writing songs that like actually mean something to us and that we actually carry in our hearts. So it's just a natural flow of what's inside of us. And I think one of the reasons why the Lord's like, just the impact that the Lord has given us is because of the amount of vertical. People, whether people believe it or not, I know a lot of people don't believe this, but people know that they need Jesus. People know that there's something inside. More people than not know that there's something in their soul that is longing for Jesus. But there haven't been that many great songs that have language to express what that need is, or to even give language to people who may not have grown up in church. So I think what Maverick has done is give that permission to people to be like, I don't know the perfect words, but I know I need Jesus. I know I need God. And, we just express it in the language that's honest, not that's church, not that has been religious filled, but that's honest. I think that's why it connects with people's hearts.